السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Sheikh, if mother of a child says to him to keep his clothes 100% dry, she says that 1% wetness can be ignored in summer but not in winter. And she also says that when he is alone in his room, he should wear lungi or towel as lower garment. She says that she was afflicted by disease, so for his betterment, she advised those steps. Allah Azza wa Jal says, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. How can one keep his clothes dry 100% or change clothes every time they get wet?
How would I know? Maybe you have to go into a dryer yourself physically and with your clothes, and then you will become dry. What kind of questions is this, Akhi? Is this an Islamic question? When you say, not even 1% is accepted by my mom, so how can I dry it? I'm not a dry cleaning service. Ask me something related to Islam.
Can you consume dairy products from dead animals? Barakallahu feekum.
Whatever is dead, now this is weird. How would I milk that dead animal, assuming that it has milk in it that can come out? Anything in that dead animal is najis. So the milk, when it died, while it was still, I forgot the word, I had it, but I don't know what it's called. I'm not a farmer. Whatever it had in it is najis because it's dead. While it was alive, it was pure and tahir and good to consume. The scholars disputed how to distribute, and they all agree that it is highly recommended to eat from it, like the Prophet did, ﷺ, to give as gifts, and to feed the poor from it. So the percentage is not fixed, but a lot of the companions preferred that it is to be divided into 3/3. A third to eat from, a third to give to relatives and loved ones, and a third to give to the poor. This was narrated by Ibn Mas'ud, Ibn Umar, and other companions. May Allah be pleased with them all. Abu Ja'far al-Nahas said the majority of scholars, including Ibn Mas'ud, Ibn Umar, and Ata and Al-Thawri, they recommend that it is divided into 3 types. And if he ate and consumed half of it or more than a third, there's no problem in that. From Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing, ya Sheikh?
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
MashaAllah. Thank you very much. So, ya Sheikh, inshallah, I will be going for Hajj soon, inshallah. So, I've been watching your Hajj series, Umdatul Ahkam Hajj series, and it's very beneficial. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Wa jazak.
So, my question is, when we go here, we are landing in Medina, inshallah, before we go to our miqat. So is there anything that we are supposed to do in Medina? Anything that's recommended? That's just my question, ya Sheikh. Jazakallahu khairan.
Wa jazakum. May Allah Azza wa Jal make your Hajj easy, and may Allah accept it from you and from all the pilgrims who are coming to perform Hajj. When you come to Medina, you enjoy yourself, because you're not in the state of ihram. So you enjoy yourself, you live your life normally, you do whatever you do, of course avoiding sin. You don't watch movies, you don't watch TV, you don't watch social media, you don't listen to music. You just go there, pray 5 times in the haram of Medina, and feast and eat and have a good time. Make dhikr of Allah, stay between the 2 prayers, reading the Quran, enjoy the tranquility which you will never ever taste in other than the Masjid of Al-Madinah, Al-Haram Al-Nabawi. Allah has placed so much tranquility and peace that is unimaginable. You just don't want to leave there, subhanallah. And once you are set to go to Mecca, wear your ihram, and the moment you go and leave the hotel, ask where the miqat is, whether it's before the train station or afterwards. And I think it's after it. So once you're in the train, you can say the talbiyah, and then you move and you are in the state of ihram in your journey to the haram.